Hi, my name is Anirudh, and I thought it'd be really cool to make a video to compare ChatGPT versus Bard as well as Perplexity AI. And Perplexity rather is just imagine OpenAI and Microsoft Bing, which has a layer and an interface over and above that, right? So I want to compare the three because everyone's been talking about ChatGPT 3.5 is not the most accurate. The value of it's come down, but they say Bard maybe does good stuff with real-time data, but acts wonky, right? So I thought we'll take four different use cases and we'll compare the four and see which one makes most sense. Okay. So for this exercise, what I've done is I've already kind of created four scenarios or four prompts. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. I'm going to place it here. And the first one is we're going to do is can it give us real-time analysis for a company? So I've created this prompt for Wipro saying for Wipro, give me the keywords that rank on Google, give me the range of content published, right? Summary of similar web data, number of blog pages they write, most popular pages on traffic, number of white papers. I thought I'll get really specific, right? And said Glassdoor summary of reviews of Wipro.com. We're doing it on 3.5, but I think 4 also kind of gives us some very similar results. And the first thing it says is, hey, listen, I apologize, but I don't have real-time browsing capabilities. So the first thing is ChatGPT cannot do real-time browsing, right? So it's kind of a closed system, content's only there till September 2021. But the next thing that we can do is let's look at Bard and what results it gives for the same thing. So I've put this in Bard. It's going to take some time to load, but my gut says that it should give us pretty good quantified values for each of these and quite accurate, right? So it says Wipro ranks for a wide range of keywords related to these. Very interesting, right? Range of content published, blog posts, white papers, case studies, amazing. According to SimilarWeb, Wipro.com has a monthly traffic of 10 million visitors. A part of me feels like that's a little overestimated. So there's and that's the flip side of platforms like these or Bard or Perplexity, which is it is real time, but is it the most accurate, right? So it gives you a lot of this information, which is pretty amazing, right? It says it reported $27 billion in net income of 2.5 billion. Worth tracking, but it may not be again the most accurate. The next thing I'm going to do is, in my mind, I think Perplexity is pretty cool because you can put the same thing and then it'll give you results with hyperlinks for those answers, right? So can you give me the following data? It says keyword, not possible. ChatGPT doesn't give you this answer, but Bard, obviously, the really cool thing is able to give you Google-based data. Range of content published, pretty similar. According to SimilarWeb, Wipro has an estimated 2.2 monthly visits. Wipro does these articles. Okay, now what we're going to do next is, so you saw the three results, right? We're going to look at Wipro.com and see what does SimilarWeb give us as the results. Yes, I'm at Wipro.com. I come here. SimilarWeb gives me approximately 2 million, right? A little more than 2 million, but it says here 1.6, 1.6, 1.9, right? So if I go back to Perplexity.ai, my similar web is 2.2 million, which may be actually quite accurate here, right? It says bounce rate of 37%, number of blogs they write, whereas Bard tells me 10 million visitors, right? And domain authority of 92. So I think the important thing to remember is Bard and Perplexity actually give you pretty accurate data. But again, it might make sense for you to go to the original source and clarify. So between these three, if you had to say who won, in my mind, I think Bard maybe is much better in terms of real-time data than Perplexity and then ChatGPT. So the next example that I wanted to take for comparing these three is if we had to come up with a mission statement. My gut says that actually ChatGPT is really good at doing these one-liners, really cool thing around like verbal specifically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a prompt around what we do as a company, which is everything AI, and then I'm going to compare that mission statement across these three LLMs, right? So the first thing is my brand name is everything AI. We are creating an AI tools marketplace where people can explore different AI tools. Give me a one liner for my mission statement. So I'm going to put that for ChatGPT. One of the cool things I feel about ChatGPT is they are super good about actually giving you the answer really quickly, right? So this was the one answer. Then I'm going to go to Bard. I'm going to say here, okay, give me this one liner. And then I'm going to go to Perplexity and say, give me this one line, right? Now, if I come back to Bard, it says here, here's a one-liner, everything here, the one-stop shop for AI tools and resources, right? Here's a more detailed mission statement, and here's some possible mission statements, right? Very interesting. I felt like ChatGPT does a pretty good job. So okay, so it says empowering AI enthusiasts and business to discover, curate, and create their ideal AI toolkit while supporting innovation through native ad sponsorships. Everything AI is the ultimate marketplace for AI tools and collaboration. Pretty good, right? Pretty good in terms of the results that you get with ChatGPT. But I feel like with Bard, I love the fact that it gives me quite a bit of like suggestions and variations of my mission statement. Now, if we look at Perplexity.ai, it says our competitors are this mission statement. It gives me a really long mission statement, right? And maybe that's something that we need to do is get a little more specific, saying, hey, keep it less than 10 words or keep it less than 15 words, right? But pretty good, right? Competition is this and gives you all these little hyperlinks, right? And maybe other competitors as well. So between these three, I still feel Bard is maybe the better solution, surprisingly, because I just like more variations, right? The second one is obviously Perplexity in my mind, and then the third is your ChatGPT. Sweet. So the third use case that I wanted to take was for search and summarization, right? So the first thing that we covered was around, hey, give me this real-time analysis. The second one was, hey, are you good at giving me this one-liner in terms of what my mission statement is? The third I thought could be interesting is, hey, let's put a URL and see if it's able to search and summarize that specific page, right? So I'm going to put this prompt here saying, can you summarize the money control page of Wipro.com in terms of financials? Give me the answers and bullet points and quantify as much as possible, right? So I'm going to put that in ChatGPT. As you can see, very quick in answering, but it's like, hey, listen, I don't have the capabilities beyond 2021, right? I can provide a general summary of financial aspects, but here's the hypothetical summary of the financials, right? So it says revenue, Wipro's total revenue for the most recent quarter was this, net income was this, very generic in my mind, right? So again, like, hey, it gives me all these like different parts of the answer, but doesn't really give me the quantified real answer, right? So we're gonna try the same thing in Bard, right? Clearly, Bard is winning right now. So I'm going to put the same thing. It says, can you summarize the money control page of Wipro in terms of financials? Give me the answers again. And boom, here are some financial highlights from the money control page. Wipro's consolidated revenue is this, up 6.05%. Again, super. I would think it's maybe accurate, may not be the most accurate. And I think we should double check with Google. Free cash flow, and I'm going to maybe check that in Google right after this, right? So let's this is the answers that you get on Bard, and then let's look at Perplexity.ai. This is powered by obviously GPT-4, but real time, right? So say and I say, can you give me the summary of the money control page? It says, unfortunately, I couldn't find the specific details. Let's try this again, right? Because I feel like that was some issue. Okay, very interesting. So it says I couldn't find the specific financial results of Wipro Limited provided from the search results, but what it's able to do is it'll give you the annual report link, right? Integrated annual report link and the quarterly results. Okay, let's look at Wipro quarterly results, which is 17,000 crores, right? So again, like I don't completely trust it. So in this scenario, actually getting answers which are not, I mean, I think getting answers that are accurate may be more important than actually getting a wrong answer. And as a result, I feel like even though Bard does a fantastic job in giving me these results, I don't completely trust it. So the way I would look at it is maybe the best answer here among the three between Perplexity.ai, ChatGPT, and Bard, I would be like Perplexity maybe the number one because it gives me the hyperlinks that you can look at. And it specifically say, listen, I do not have the answer for it. Then followed by obviously ChatGPT because it doesn't give me the links, but just give me some generic answer. And then Bard because even though it's giving me great answers, I can't completely trust it. Okay, so that's our interpretation of the third prompt. The final comparison that I want to do is finally taking a piece of content, let's say a really popular LinkedIn post, and seeing how good can ChatGPT or Bard or Perplexity.ai do in terms of creating an output that's similar to that specific post that did really well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a post, which is actually a year back, which I wrote in London, 7 reasons to love London. I said, okay, fine, 10. And then I said, work ends at 5 p.m., drinks start flowing at 5:01. And then it had like 300,000 impressions, right? So it did quite well, 2,300 likes, whatever you want to call it, like just reactions. And I'm like, okay, now how do we kind of recreate this if I had to do 5 variations of this, right? So I'm going to copy paste a prompt that I created. And the prompt primarily says, this is an example of one of my more popular posts on LinkedIn, reasons to love London. And I say, find 10. And then I say, can you create 5 variations of this post in an identical format as above? And I think that's the important piece. You want to give feedback on the variations, or you actually want to give feedback on the format, right? So I say, so with bullet points, short sentences while being funny. Okay. And I think what you can also go one step further and say, can you create 5 variations of this post in an identical format as above, but taking different cities as examples, right? Right? So it says, sure, here are 5 variations of your post. It says 7 reasons to adore New York, find 10. Right? Love it. So it says work never stops, but the coffee does. The city that never sleeps means the party never ends. And I love that how the content is so customized for a city, right? They've also picked the hashtags which are very specific to the city, right? So New York, concrete jungle, reasons to fall for Tokyo. Okay, make it 10. Work ethic, happy hour. Running in Tokyo means competing with ninja pedestrians. Amazing, right? So what I could actually do is just schedule all of this once every, let's say, 2, 3 weeks, and just make it a fun thing, right? So a good way to think about this is how do you extrapolate and take maybe like the really happening posts, the posts that are super popular, make it in a tone of your choice, and then actually start pushing it out, right? So that's ChatGPT, right? So it took Sydney, it took Tokyo, it took New York, and it took Amsterdam, right? And Buenos Aires. Amazing, right? So love it. So it says, and also like put some Spanish in there. Unbelievable. I love it. And in bar, it tells me this is an example. Okay. So it says, here are 5 variations of the possible reasons to love a city in the same format as above. New York City, you can eat your way through the world in a single day. There's always something to do no matter what your interests are, right? SF. So it just gives me bullet points. It's not in the style that I've written, right? There is a sense of humor that I want to add to this. There's no sense of humor, right? So actually, I'm not very happy with Bard in terms of results here, right? So one reason not to love any of these cities, they're all expensive, right? So it doesn't give me the LinkedIn post. I wanted to write it in a LinkedIn post, right? The next thing is let's look at Perplexity.ai. I've put this, and then I say, give me the answers. It says, okay, 7 reasons to love New York City. Okay, fine, 10. It says city that never sleeps, best pizza. 1 reason not to love New York City is crowded as hell. Okay, interesting, right? So if you had to look at Dubai, it says the shopping is unparalleled, the architecture is stunning, the city is incredibly clean, city is safe. You start saying inshallah without even realizing. 1 reason not to love Dubai, it's hot as hell, right? It's crowded as hell. So actually, if you were to compare the answers here, I feel like in my mind, ChatGPT is a clear winner. Love the content, right? It's done such a good job in customizing it for every city. Then I would say is definitely Perplexity because it's done a decent job, but I would say ChatGPT is the more customized. And then finally, Bard, it's given me the answers, but it doesn't feel conversational, it doesn't feel human, right? It doesn't feel like the whole goal, I think, in the future is to get AI as close to human intelligence. And I feel like in the creative abstract space, ChatGPT has done a fantastic job. So you guys decide what works best for you. Definitely try all these three in parallel and good luck in playing around with these tools.